most important life skill. Is it? No, it's not it. It's not it. Oh yes. Yeah. That's no. Oh, maybe you can help. So I've been thinking a lot. People, I'm trying to put together the class for you guys. Like what? But I wanna teach the most important life skill. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling right now. I got it. Uh-huh. I think this is what it is. This is where we start. I think we talk about communication. What do you all think? Communication. I mean, I think if you can't communicate, I don't think you could do anything else. I mean, I could be wrong, but probably not. So why don't we start here? Us. We're going to talk about communication. Just the basics. So we'll start today's class, right? And we're going to spend this class and 3 more just breaking down the basics. Because I think if we can get this, communication, if we can become good communicators, I think that's going to help us so much. So what do you say? Let's get started. First, I want to say this. You can consider me to be, your coach. So I'm going to be coaching you all through this series on communication. So it's a 4-part series where we talk about all the basics about this topic, this skill of communication, which I hope I can convince you as we go through is going to be so important for you all as you continue building your independent skills, as you guys continue to keep moving forward in your life. Communication is one of those things that it'll follow you. It's something that you will need. And so because of that, I think it's important to be able to understand just the basics of this skill to help you as you move forward. So today we'll start, right? We'll break down the word communication, and every week we'll learn about a different basic skill until we get to the end. Our final session will actually be a question and answer. So we'll send you the invite for you guys to join us on the live where you'll be able to answer questions and we can chat, and it'll be a chance for us to get to know each other a little bit better. Now, you may be asking yourself, or you may be asking me, Jason, why should I even care about this? What's the point? And if that is you, it's a great question. I think it's a fair question. So let's talk about it. Why should you care about communication? Well, for me, I think it's such an important skill because you need it for most everything. So if your goal, let's just say your goal is to work one day. We'll talk about that process another time, but you do know one of the things that you're going to have to go through is a job interview. And so you have to communicate in your job interview. Let's say your goal is to learn how to speak up for yourself or to speak out, right? That's communication, right? And so you'll see as we go that you're going to find out that you need communication for pretty much everything. And so you may say, well, Jason, I'm shy. That's fine. We'll talk about how you can still communicate even if you're a shy person, right? So don't let that stop you, right? Don't let that stop you from hanging out with us during this series, okay? So whether you're shy or you don't really think it's important, right? I hope that by the end of our time together, you'll say, you know what? Jason was right. I think there's something here to this communication, and I want to learn more. In fact, you may say after our time together, man, I want to get real good at this communication. Alrighty, so just think about that, right? So why is it important? You're going to need this. You're going to need this with you as you continue going through your life. So hopefully I'm able to convince you there. So now that we understand that, we have the setup, you have a better understanding as to why should I care, why is this important. Now let's get into it. Let's break this down. So I did some thinking, and so I'm going to take you guys now. If you give me just a moment, I'm going to grab my marker. So this is our lovely studio, and we also have, so sometimes we'll hang out here, right? And when I want to start writing stuff, I got a whiteboard. So follow me. We're going here to the board. Here we go. So, what is communication? I'm working on this definition here, and I'm hoping that as we start filling out these blanks, we're going to come up with the meaning that makes sense for you. That's going to be the important thing. Now, something else I want to say, as you're watching this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, you're actually going to be able to put in down in the comments. So if you like this definition, if you have a definition that you want to add, or maybe you don't even like this definition, you say, well, Jason, I have a definition that I think works better, put it in the comments. Our team will read them. I love to get your insight on this, because this class, this is all about you all. So if you have any ideas, any comments, type them up below in the comments. I will get them and we'll get back to you. All right? So, but we got to start somewhere, right? We'll start here. What is communication? So we have this. It's the blank of delivering blank from one blank to another blank. Well, as you can see, it's a little bit incomplete, right? So the blank of delivering blank from one blank to another blank. So let's fill this in, right? So what is communication? One definition that we could roll with is this. It's the process, all right, so we got one, right? The process of delivering information from one person to another. Yep, you got it. Person. There it is. So what's communication? The definition we could go with is the process of delivering information from one person to another person. Kind of makes sense, right? That's really what it is. When we're communicating, we have information, all right? And so the information can be a thought, an idea, and I need to get it needs to go from one person to another person. You know what can I give you all an example? What we're doing right now. We're communicating, right? So process, right? So we'll talk about this too. It's a process, steps, right? Delivering information. So I'm delivering you guys information, right? So one person, you all on the other side, you're the other person. So that's communication, right? So we're communicating. Although you all are not here with me, but we're still communicating because I'm one person and I'm delivering information to you all, the other person. Jason, that's duh, right? Duh, of course I know that. If that's you, perfect, right? Because that's where we want to be, right? Remember, the basics. Process of delivering information from one person to another person. I think it's a great definition that we can use as we continue to build, because that's what we're doing. We're building. So I think it's a great definition. If you like this definition, let me know. Put in the comments, I like it. If maybe we can, if there's another definition, if there's maybe another way that you define communication, let me know that too. Because here's the thing that I think it's important. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just ideas. All right, you guys are doing great. So here's what we covered so far. We've covered the series, what we're going to be doing together, right, during these next couple of weeks. We've talked about what is communication, so we've come up with a good definition. And now for this last part, I want to talk about the actual, if we break down communication, we just break it down to its simplest idea. There's actually 3 parts to communication, right? And we're going to go back to the board, and I'm actually going to take you guys with me, so here we go. We're going to go back to the board, right about there. I see you. You guys see me? All right, we're good? All right. So, the 3 parts of communication. If we break this down, this is basically how communication works. Again, we're keeping it basic, right? I know, I'm sure I have students, teachers, parents. You guys are ready for the advanced stuff. We're going to get there. I promise you we're going to get there. But I first want us to move together. So we're just starting together, right, at the basics. 3 parts to communication. First, you have the sender, right? This is the person that's going to be giving, right, the message. So you've got the sender, you've got the message, and then you've got the receiver, right? That's it, right? And it just goes, right? You have sender, message, receiver. This is important because I think it's important for us to know, well, who's all involved when it comes to communicating. So for example, we can use a simple example. How many of you guys text message, right? We'll use that example. If you were to text somebody, so let's say I'm gonna text you. So I'm the sender, sending you a text message. Whatever I write in there, like, hope you're having a great day, that's the message. When I hit send, I'm hoping that gets sent to you. You are the receiver, right? Very, very simple. The reason why I wanted to share this and show this to you all is because this works for everything. See, what you'll learn is communication doesn't just happen by just talking to people. We can use this and let's go to sports, right? Let's use baseball for an example, right? So in baseball, you've got the sender, that would be the pitcher, right? So the pitcher on the baseball mound, well, the pitcher's waiting for something, right? That catcher, right, is going to give him the signal, right? Fastball, curveball, changeup, right? So that's the message, right? So the sender, the pitcher, has to send that message to the catcher. He's the receiver, right? And so this is why it's very important, right? We will learn in communication that you have to be also paying attention, right? So communication is not only going to be just about talking, but it's also going to be about listening as well. So if you get this, you're on your way. Again, moving on forward as we continue the basics of communication. So we're going to go back to the desk, right? And we're going to finish off our first session together, all right? You guys are doing great. I'll see you guys in a moment. So let's finish this up. First of all, how are you guys feeling? Right? Remember, I told you guys can come chat with me in the comments below. Let me know. How are you feeling about this first session? Right? We defined communication, right? And then I had asked you guys, let me know your thoughts about that definition. Maybe you have your own definition. Maybe it's a definition that maybe we can add to our list, right? No right or wrong answers. We're just sharing ideas here together, right? So don't forget to use that chat below in the video. So we defined communication, right? So it's the process of delivering information from one person to another. Very basic definition. Then we talked about, right, the 3 parts to the communication. We have, right, we have the sender, then we have, right, the message, and then we have the receiver, right? So we did a lot today. Right? So today we broke down communication, right? Very, very important. Before we move on, it was important for us to at least know, well, do we know what communication means? We can say yes now. Do we know the 3 parts of communication? We can say yes now, right? So next week, we're going to continue, and then we're going to break down, remember those 3 parts of communication? We're going to chat more about that. There's a lot more that I want to say, a couple more ideas I want to share with you guys. But for now, we're going to end. A couple of things I want you guys to do for me, if you haven't done so yet. Number 1, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the videos that we're going to be releasing in the series. The other thing too is notifications. There's a little bell on the bottom right next to subscribe. If you click that, you'll actually get notified when we release the videos right then and there. So don't forget to do that as well. You can also chat, right? On the chat box below. If you do that, I'll get it and I'll respond back to you guys. So many ways. Let's keep in touch. Let's keep this thing going, right? I'm excited to hear from you guys. I hope you guys learned something in this first session. Be ready for session 2. We're going to continue. Again, I know I've said it a lot, but I want to be sure we're on the same page. This is all about the basics of communication. We can't move forward to the advanced stuff unless we understand the basics, and that's what we're here to do. But you guys are doing great so far. So again, I'm Jason. I'm your coach, right? We're going to work through this together, and I'll see you all in the second video. Bye for now.